Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Grade 6 English Teleclass lesson. I am Ruvina teacher from Shabiani Milandu School. In this lesson, my focus is on reading comprehension narratives. Through this lesson, my dear children, I hope to enhance your reading comprehension ability and make you competent readers. Do you want to become competent readers? If so, you require explicit, intensive and persistent instructions. I hope you will receive it in this lesson. Now let's begin today's lesson. Learning intentions. We are learning to read fluently and comprehend narrative texts. Success criteria. I will be successful if I will be able to read fluently and comprehend narrative texts. Why you should learn effective comprehension instructions? Effective comprehension instructions helps you to become independent, strategic and metacognitive readers. That means you are able to develop, control and use a variety of comprehension strategies to ensure that you understand what you read. My dear children, now let's look at what is a narrative text. Broadly defined, a narrative text tells a story. It is found in the form of short stories, folk tales, myths, fables, legends, science fictions, biographies and autobiographies. The narrative structure most often features beginning, where the main characters are introduced and their basic situations are introduced. The problem which helps the story drives forward is also introduced. Middle. In this part of the story, characters go through major changes. Ending. That is the part of the story where we find resolution. It most often also features clear story elements including characters, setting, themes, a central problem, a sequence of events that form a storyline, a resolution to the conflict. When you encounter a new narrative text, this knowledge will help you, my dear children, to have a better understanding of the text to demonstrate comprehension perfectly. Elements of fictions. All the fictions have the same basic elements such as plot, setting, characters, conflict, themes. It will be helpful for you to have an idea about the elements of the fictional stories because our first activity is based on a fictional story. Plot. My dear children, let's look at the plot. Plot refers to how the story is told. Plot is about how and at what key stages the key conflicts are set up and resolved. In every story, we find these common elements: exposition, rising action, climax, which is the turning point of the story, falling action, resolution. And they are organized according to this story mountain. Now the children, it's time for you to enjoy an interesting fictional story. The Necklace, written by Gidi Maupassant. Do you like to watch a video? I know you all will say yes. Okay, my dear children, before watching the video, let's get an idea about the background of the story. This story tells of a middle-class woman married to a clerk who longs for more in life. This picture gives you a background knowledge to the story. She has a friend belongs to high-class society who enjoys a luxury life whom she no longer wanted to visit because she suffered so much when she came home. Now children, you can read the story while watching the video. Dear children, do you like to watch a video? Definitely I know you will say yes. Here is the time for you to enjoy a video.
The Diamond Necklace. Matilda was one of those pretty, charming young ladies born, as if through an error of destiny, into a family of clerks. Having no means of becoming known and getting married to a rich man, she allowed herself to marry a petty clerk. But she suffered, for she felt she was born for all the fine, beautiful things of life. One evening, her husband returned looking excited. In his hand was an invite from the Minister of Public Instruction at the latter's residence. Instead of being delighted, as her husband had hoped, Matilda was irritated and wept that she had no dress to wear for such a formal occasion. Hoping to make her happy, her husband promised to give Matilda 400 francs to buy a new dress for the grand occasion. But as the day of the ball approached, Matilda seemed more and more anxious. She did not have a jewel to adorn herself with. Her husband suggested that she go and ask her friend Madame Forestier to lend her jewels. The next day Matilda went to her friend's house and chose a superb diamond necklace. Matilda wore the diamond necklace to the ball and she was a great success. She was the prettiest of all, elegant, gracious, smiling, and full of gaiety. She and her husband left the ball at around 4 o'clock. Back in her apartment, she stood in front of the glass for a final view of herself in all her glory, and suddenly uttered a cry of dismay. Her necklace was not around her neck. Matilda and her husband looked everywhere, but it was not to be found. At the end of a week, they had lost all hope and knew that they would have to replace it. They went from jeweler to jeweler and finally found a necklace which seemed exactly like the one they had borrowed. It was valued at 40,000 francs. Loisel possessed 18,000 francs which his father had left him. He borrowed the rest. Matilda now knew the horrible life of bare necessity. She learnt the heavy cares of a household, and the husband worked evenings and nights. This life lasted 10 years, and at the end of it, they had repaid all their debts. At the end of 10 years, Matilda seemed old. She had become a downtrodden woman of a poor household. One Sunday, as she was taking a walk, she suddenly saw Madame Forestier. She was shocked to see that her friend had changed so much, and Matilda told her that it was all because of her. She had lost the diamond necklace that she had lent her and had replaced it, but it had taken them 10 years to pay for it. Madame Forestier held both hands of her friend as she said that the diamonds had been false and the necklace had been worth no more than 500 francs.
My dear children, I hope you have enjoyed the video. Now let's do a comprehension activity. Be ready with a paper and a pen. This is your activity. Here you will get 6 questions and the 6 answers. You have to match the correct question with the correct answer. You can write only the relevant letter of the question and the relevant number of the matching answer. This is your first question. Why does Madame Loisel cry out when she looks at herself in the mirror after the party? These are your answers. Select the matching answer. This is your second question. How does the young woman compensate for the modest way of life she lives? Select the matching answer. This is your third question. What does Madame Louise learn about the necklace when she speaks with Madame Forestier on the Champs-Élysées? These are the answers. You select the best answer for the question. This is your next question. Did the woman wear a collar of pearls, a ruby bracelet, a necklace of diamonds, or a Venetian cross of gold and jewels? Here are your answers. Select the correct answer. Here is another question. How do the years of hard work change Matilda? Select the correct answer from these answers. This is your last question. What do you think Matilda's reaction is to learning that she had altered the complete course of her life unnecessarily? Select the correct answer. Now let's discuss the answers for the questions. Why does Madame Louise cry out when she looks at herself in the mirror after the party? She cries out because she lost the diamond necklace that she borrowed from Madame Forestier. How does the young woman compensate for the modest way of life she lives? The answer is, she daydreams about all the riches she wants to own and possess. Question C. What does Madame Louise learn about the necklace when she speaks with Madame Forestier on the Champs-Élysées? This is the answer. She learns that the necklace is fake. Here is another question. Did the woman wear a collar of pearls, a ruby bracelet, a necklace of diamonds, or a Venetian cross of gold and jewels? This is the answer. She wore a necklace of diamonds which was borrowed from Madame Forestier. This is another question. How do the years of hard work change Matilda? This is the answer. She aged and lost her beauty. She was hard-hearted and was broke. This is your last question. What do you think Matilda's reaction is to learning that she had altered the complete course of her life unnecessarily? Here is the answer. She might be angered at first, but she learned a necessary lesson about her own pride and greed and her value of status. This is a model for the story maps. Let's try to recall the story map of this story. To fill this story map, you should understand the central characters, climax, setting, rising actions, falling actions, conflict and resolution, and also the theme. Now let's look at how the key stages of the story have been organized. At first we find the exposition stage. Next we find the conflict. Along with that we get rising action. Climax is the turning point of the story. Then you can see the falling action and finally there will be a resolution. This knowledge will help you in your narrative writing too. Next, children, let's see whether you can remember the events for each of these key stages. Let's check, do you remember what happened in the story related to these key stages? Look at this key stage, exposition. Do you remember anything related to this? Set in Paris, France in 1880, a young middle-class woman dreams of a lifestyle far beyond her reach. One day her husband comes home with tickets to attend a very affluent party and she is excited to attend but upset that she will look dowdy. Conflict. Do you remember anything related to the conflict? Let's see. Matilda Louiselle is not wealthy, yet she dreams to be. Her husband gives her money to buy a dress, but she is not satisfied until she asks a wealthy friend for a necklace to borrow. Do you remember anything related to the rising action? Okay, children. Let's see. At the ball, Madame Louiselle is a hit, but the necklace goes missing. After days of searching, she and her husband decide to replace it with a one that looks identical. The replacement costs more money than they make, and it takes them 10 years to pay it off. Now let's look at the falling action. One day Matilda is walking to the market and sees the friend that she borrowed the necklace from. She decides to tell her what happened. Let's see resolution. The friend, Madame Forestier, tells Matilda that the necklace was false, a fake. The reader is left contemplating the irony of the situation. Now, children, let's look at the theme. In your opinion, what is the theme the author intends to convey? Just think of it. Yes, these are the themes he discusses in the story. People should be happy with what they have. People may pay a terrible price for greed. Honesty is not based upon the need of material things. Now, my dear children, I will teach you an easy way to demonstrate comprehension. When you encounter a new narrative text, focus on the following areas of the story. Remember who are the main characters, when did the story take place, where did the story take place, and understand what is the main idea of the story, what are the major events in the story and sequence of events in the story, and you should be able to retell the story and also to describe the setting, describe the main character and what is the problem of the story. Moreover, my dear children, you should know to apply your knowledge on the followings. Does the story remind you of anything? What do you predict will happen next if the story continues? How is the problem solved in this story? Can you think of other possible solutions to the problem? My dear children, I would like to highlight the strategies we used in our reading comprehension activity. There are a number of strategies that will help students to understand narrative text. These are few of them. Filling up the story maps, retelling the story and making predictions, to bargain answering comprehension questions. I hope children, these strategies might have helped you to get a better understanding of the story. What should you look for in a narrative text to be able to make inferences? You should focus on the point of view, whether it is written in first person, second person or third person perspective. Elements of plot: exposition, rising action, climax, falling action and resolution. Then the primary conflict and the main characters. When you have a sound knowledge on these particular areas, it may help you to make inferences in a better way. What techniques should you use when reading a narrative? First, you chunk the paragraphs. Then you jot down main ideas or gist notes in the margins. Try to underline the important events in the story. And my dear children, ask questions to yourself and try to find the answers for them. And also notice when and where the setting changes. And finally, use context clues to help with unfamiliar words. Here is the story map you have to fill related to the story. You can copy this down to a paper and try to fill it and produce it to your English teacher. Dear children, before drop down today's session, I would like to bring you some of the highlights of the strategies that we have practiced today. Recalling story maps, predicting, retelling and answering comprehension questions. Hope you have improved and also you have enjoyed today's lesson. Thank you for being with me. Have a nice day.